The country's recent rise in violent crime has Republicans trying to blame the defund the police movement and Democrats' hopes of police reform. It's true. Violent crime is on the rise. Homicides increased by 36% in major cities, including Los Angeles and Atlanta in 2020, according to a report from the National Commission on COVID-19 and Criminal Justice. But the current spike in violent crime is a fraction of what it was at its peak in the 1980s. And when it comes to explaining what's responsible for the uptick, we're now seeing the answer is, well, complicated. Joining me now to discuss, Jeffrey Butts, director of the Research and Evaluation Center at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and Rosa Brooks, professor at Georgetown University Law Center, former Pentagon official, and author of Tangled Up in Blue. Thank you both very much for coming to the Sunday show. Let me read you something from the venerable Washington Post editorial board. Our editorial today with the headline, "Violent crime is spiking. We must still reimagine public safety." And we know Chicago saw its worst year of killings in more than 2 decades. Homicide in D.C. hit a 16-year high in 2020. The reasons remain unclear. Possible factors include the economic and social upheaval unleashed by COVID-19, proliferation of guns, and COVID outbreaks that forced police to scale back street deployments. Last summer's protests following the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis may have made civilians warier of calling on law enforcement, or law enforcement warier of involving themselves. Rosa, I will start with you. What do you make of that? And does that get to the complexity of why violent crime is on the rise?
Yes, Jonathan, I think anybody who tells you that they understand what causes crime to go up sometimes and down sometimes is either lying or they're a fool. We really don't know. It's incredibly complicated. It's really hard to tease out causation versus correlation. It may very well be a little bit of all of those things. It may be other things that weren't on your list. And another thing I would just add is that in many major cities, the rise in violent crime and homicides began before the racial justice movements that followed George Floyd's death began. So it's very hard to argue that this is the primary cause. Conceivably, it's a contributing cause, but if it is, it's just as likely that the contributing cause is lower trust in the police. As people watch police, videos of police doing horrific things makes them a little bit less likely to go proactively to the police and say, hey, I'm aware of a potential crime, or here's someone who did this. When you don't trust the police, you keep things to yourselves.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Butts, your assessment.
Well, I agree with Rosa that it's impossible to say exactly what causes it, but researchers can at least eliminate possible explanations. So you could look at data and test hypotheses. One hypothesis that's been around, and you alluded to it, is that it's somehow related to defunding the police. So there have been researchers who have looked at police budgets and changes from year to year and looked at that city's change in violent crime and particularly shootings, and there's really no relationship there. It makes no sense to point to either left-wing protests or police behavior and try to attribute causation to such vacillating crime trends. Crime trends always roller coaster. They go up, they go down, and I agree that it's impossible to exactly pinpoint what causes the minor fluctuations, but over time we can look back in time and start to understand what causes the major fluctuations.
And Rosa, it is a mistake to Jeffrey's point, Mr. Butts' point, that to look at police budgets and say that because a police department cut its budget and that explains why crime has spiked, that doesn't make any sense at all. You can't see that kind of impact that quickly, right?
That's right. And I also think that one of the myths about defunding the police is that departments have just been deprived of all their resources. For better or for worse, quite frankly, a lot of the cities that moved rapidly to do so-called defunding took a pretty minimal amount of money away from police budgets, often tucked it into other agencies that were performing the same functions. We haven't really seen the kind of dramatic cuts in any case that you would expect to have a significant difference.
Right. And Jeffrey, to that point, I was talking to a source in preparation for this, and they made the point that, if a police department cuts its budget, well, where was that money coming from? Was the money coming from, taking police off the streets, or was it police cars or something like that? Shouldn't we be more sophisticated in the way we talk about and look at not only why crime is rising, but at what police budgets are and what the money is spent on?
Yes. We have to all remember that police are essential partners for creating safety, but there's a lot more to public safety than law enforcement. Safe neighborhoods are not safe due to constant surveillance and police patrols. Safety comes from people living in good housing, with good schools, well-paying jobs, adequate food supply. Our country just doesn't care to make all those things available to everyone, so we have continuing safety challenges. But seeing public safety as entirely attributable to police is like assuming the nation's health is entirely attributable to doctors and hospitals. Yes, they're important components of the system, but medicine is not the same as health. It would ignore diet, exercise, drug abuse, stress levels. There's a lot that goes into public safety other than policing.
And Rose, I'll give you the last question. We've got a minute left. Again, looking at this, the relationship between police and the community. If it were possible, could we see a reduction in crime if there were better relations between police and the community, if there was a culture change among police away from this warrior mentality to a true guardian mentality?
I think so. I mean, I don't think we know that much, as I said before, but that makes logical sense. I also think that when, as I said earlier, when people trust the police, they're more likely to go to them and give them information, which helps police solve crimes. It helps police prevent crimes. I also think that when police are working in collaboration with other kinds of violence reduction actors, other kinds of strategies, they become more effective. And many cities have seen a lot of success with non-policing efforts to disrupt patterns of violent crime, particularly homicide, so-called violence interrupters. That's been an incredibly promising approach. One of the possible reasons we've seen homicides go up is that because of the pandemic, in many cities that had very successful non-police violence interruption programs, those programs had to be halted because of the pandemic. So I think when we get back to normal, as I hope we will, I hope we will both see some changes in how police departments act, and we will see an increase once again in those violence interrupter programs. Those things together, we don't know, but I'm optimistic that they could make a big difference in bringing crime back down.